In the heart of the untamed savannah lived a warrior named Ulanji. He wasn't just a man, he was a force of nature, a living embodiment of thunder and lightning. His eyes crackled with power, and his very footsteps sent ripples of fear through the earth. Ulanji was everywhere at dawn. He hunted. By noon, he farmed. By dusk, he led the people. The village existed in the long shadow cast by his sheer presence, and even the bravest warriors trembled when his name was spoken. Ulanji wasn't like others. He hunted not with spears but with his bare hands, grappling lions as though they were mere cubs. He didn't farm like the rest, he commanded the earth, and it obeyed, pushing crops from the soil as if it feared his wrath. The village elders, men who had seen the rise and fall of countless seasons, feared him as much as they respected him. They whispered when he wasn't near, their voices low with dread, for there is a truth in all things mighty. Where there is great power, there is great danger. Despite Ulanji's strength, the village grew weary. His perfection suffocated them. Where his hands touched, no others dared. Why plant seeds when Ulanji would summon crops? Why hunt when he alone could return with beasts far larger than any man could carry? His power, once their blessing, had become their curse. Ulanji felt their resentment and their silent fear, but none dared challenge him. His fury was like lightning, striking fast and leaving ruin in its wake. One day, the rain stopped. The sun scorched the land, and the earth cracked under the weight of drought. The animals fled, and the crops turned to dust. The people, desperate and afraid, looked to Ulanji, their savior. They waited for him to act, to call the rains, to bend nature to his will once more. But this time, Ulanji did nothing. His sharp eyes gleamed with something new, a dark realization. He saw their weakness, their dependency, and a spark of cruelty flickered in his soul. He knew what must be done. And so, one night, with no warning, Ulanji vanished. The villager woke to find their mighty storm gone. Fear spread like wildfire. Without Ulanji, who would save them? Panic filled their hearts as the crops withered further. The hunters returned empty-handed, and whispers of doom filled the air. Ulanji has abandoned us, they cried. We are nothing without him. But Ulanji was not far. He hid in the trees, watching a silent predator lurking in the shadows. He observed their struggles, their despair. His heart was cold, his satisfaction growing. They had grown soft and weak in his overwhelming presence. Now, they would suffer for it. Then, in the midst of this darkness, came a twist no one saw coming. A young girl named Shawnee stepped forward. Unlike the others, Shawnee had not feared Ulanji. She had watched him closely, studied his movements, and in secret, she had trained. While the others fell into chaos, Shawnee gathered the courage to act. She began to lead. The villagers scoffed at first. What could a mere girl do in the absence of Ulanji, the storm? But Shawnee was relentless. She knew of hidden streams that Ulanji never bothered with, small but enough to sustain them. She guided the hunters to forgotten traps and led them in growing crops by unconventional methods. Slowly, hope sparked within the village as they followed her lead. Shawnee, once overlooked, now became the quiet strength that pulled them from the edge of ruin. All the while, Ulanji watched from the shadows, his satisfaction slowly turning to something else, unease. The girl had learned what even the elders had not. She thrived where others cowered. She was becoming what he had never intended, a leader without the storm. But Ulanji wasn't finished testing them. With a final act of cunning, he sent whispers through the wind, tales of great beasts, of monstrous raiders, and creeping shadows beyond the hills. The villagers, still fragile in their newfound strength, were thrown back into fear. Would they collapse without him? But Shawnee stood firm. She rallied the villagers, and together they faced a threat beyond the hills, not monsters, but raiders, as the whispers had foretold. Yet, through her calm strategy and clever planning, Shawnee led them to victory, sending the invaders fleeing into the night. No longer did the villagers fear the dark, they had found the light within themselves. And then the final twist came. As the village celebrated their triumph, Ulanji appeared at the edge of the firelight, silent and ominous, like the night storm he had always been. The villagers were frozen in terror. Would Ulanji reclaim his place? Would Shani fall before him like so many had before? But Ulanji did something no one expected. He bowed. His voice rumbled like distant thunder, but there was no malice in it, only respect. "You have learned," he said, "what I could not teach you while I was here. You have found the storm within yourselves." His eyes rested on Shani. "You are the thunder now." And just as suddenly as he had returned, Ulanji vanished once more into the wilderness. His time had passed. The village no longer needed a savior, they had become their own. And thus, the legend of Ulanji, the vanishing thunder, spread across the lands a tale of power, fear, and the hidden strength that lies within us all when we are tested by the shadows. The legend of Ulanji reminds us all, true strength is not found in the might of a single hero, but in the courage of many. It is in the moments when we stand alone, face the unknown, and rise from the shadows of those who seemed invincible that we discover the power we've had all along. So remember, it's not the storms we face that define us, it's the storms we overcome. If you were moved by this tale of mystery, suspense, and rising strength, smash that like button and subscribe for more epic stories from around the world. And don't forget to share this story, because sometimes even the strongest among us need to hear that their power was within them all along. Until next time, keep chasing your own legend.